Hey, it's Patrick from JMP Cycles, and today I'm going to be showing you how to change the starter drive or starter clutch on this 2003 Dyna. Now, for most late model big twin Harleys, this is going to be very, very similar. You may have a few other things in the way that we don't have to get to the starter here. You may have an exhaust pipe in the way or something like that, but the basics of changing the starter clutch is going to be the same. And you may be asking yourself, well, what is a starter clutch or a starter drive, and how do I know if mine's okay? The starter clutch is inside the starter here. And when you hit the button on your bike, it's what helps actuate the pinion gear to engage with the ring gear on the clutch basket to actually start your bike. So your starter could still be good, but your starter clutch could be going. And you're gonna have an indication of that happening because when you hit the starter on your bike, it's gonna make a funny sound. It's gonna make a sound kind of like a kazoo or one of those little short whistles you had when you were a kid. It's gonna go, now, if you hit it a second time, it'll probably start. And that's gonna get progressively worse till the point it just goes and leaves you stranded somewhere. We don't want that to happen. Ours is starting to make that noise intermittently, so we're gonna change the starter clutch in it. The first thing we need to do is we need to disconnect the battery. Both cables, ground first, then positive. And then, unfortunately, we do have to take the primary cover off. So you have to drain your fluid, pop your primary cover off, because the first thing we need to do is get to the bolt on the end of the starter in there. So now we have to take this little tab here and bend it up and away. And this is an 8mm. You may have to grab a hold of this gear with a set of pliers to get it loosened up. Just be careful of the teeth. Okay, so now we're back over here on the right side of the bike. We have to do a couple of things to get this starter out of here. For starters, we're going to unplug the solenoid wire, and then we're gonna take a 1/2-inch wrench and get the nut off of the positive wire. Now we already took off the positive wire from the battery, so we're all good. And then we're gonna take a 1/4-inch Allen. There's 2 bolts, one way back up in here, and you're gonna need an extension or a really long Allen. A ball Allen's not a bad idea. And then one towards the front. The one towards the front also has the ground wire on it, just leave it hang there. Now if you have a Softail model, and I mean the old school style Softail model, not the Milwaukee 8 Softail, this is gonna be more difficult on that model of bike. You may actually have to take that oil tank loose or maybe even possibly out to get this out of here, because on the old school Softail models, it's hard to get the starter out of there. So if you got a Softail model, just be more patient. Okay, starter's off the bike. We're over here at the bench. Now we have to get this drive housing off, which is where our starter clutch or starter drive is housed, is inside here. Now there's gonna be 2 bolts going through here. These are 11/32. But there's also 2 long bolts right here holding the solenoid on to this drive. You don't necessarily need to take the solenoid loose, but we need to take those bolts loose to get to the drives. Okay, when you finally go to take this apart when the bolts are out, you wanna keep the drive side down, otherwise a bunch of little stuff is gonna fall out. This is the best way to take this apart and not lose track of stuff. If you are holding this up in the air, what's gonna happen is this gear is going to fall out, and see all those pieces are loose in there. It's not the end of the world, you can put it back together, but if you picked this up from the wrong end and had this drive on the top, when you pick the drive up off there, all those are gonna fall out. To get the drive out, 7/8 socket should work pretty good to drive that out of there. There we are. So you can see the old busted one has a narrower gear than this one. The other nice thing about the new one, you can see our old bearings up here, and this is a nicer sealed bearing setup. Before we put our new drive in, I'm just gonna wipe all this clean, wipe down the faces of everything, re-grease everything, and then we're gonna put our new starter drive in there. The bigger bearing goes down in there, and it is gonna be kind of a press fit, so you may have to tap it down in there until it seats in the bottom of the housing. We're gonna make sure that we're all the way seated down in here. You don't want any gap right here. You want that new starter drive fitting up against that housing really tight. So this little piece with the roller bearings sits down on top of that pin, and then this gear sits on top of that. So before we put the starter in, we gotta put this coupling on there, and you'll notice that one end has more of a taper than the other end. That end with the taper actually goes into the starter. If you put the wrong end on, it's not gonna sit down far enough on there. It's gonna have like a gap here, and we want this to sit down like that. I found it's easiest to put this all back together kind of in your hand like this. You have to have it off the bench because this shaft has got to drop through there a little ways. Comes with the new spring. The spring's gonna go on this shaft, which drops down inside here. And then the little spring that was inside the solenoid, make sure that gets back on that pin. We're gonna put this together like a sandwich before we flip it over to put the bolts in. As I've come to find in my near 45 years on this planet, lubrication is key in almost every situation. I couldn't find any torque specs for these two housing bolts. They don't need to be super tight, just kind of snug them up. Be very careful not to strip them out. Don't use a big ratchet. That should be good enough. Same with the two through bolts on the solenoid. There was no torque specs to be found. You don't have to get crazy, just nice and snug. Don't forget your ground wire when you're mounting the starter back in there. So we're gonna torque our two Allens that hold our starter in, anywhere from 13 to 20 foot-pounds. We're going to put our positive wire back on the terminal here. It actually has a torque spec. It's 60 to 85 inch-pounds. And then don't forget to plug in the solenoid wire, and we're done on this side. We'll go around to the other side to put our 8mm bolt in. We're gonna tighten this down to 84 to 108 inch-pounds, and then we're gonna bend this tab back over. It's the same deal when you go to tighten this up. You probably have to grab this gear with a set of pliers. You don't have to really grab it tight because this is inch-pounds, pretty easy. And then make sure when you tighten this, you end on a flat spot for your tab to bend down on. I'm gonna be right on the flat spot now. Okay, so now obviously need to button our primary back up. Your bike may be a little bit different than mine. And then I'm going to hook up the positive and the ground on my battery, and we're done. Just like that, we're back on the road with the bike that starts every time and won't leave us stranded. If you have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Woo!